matter how good of a beader you are, occasionally you're going to be working along and all of a sudden there's going to be a bead where you don't want to bead. Frequently what will happen is you'll accidentally pick up two beads at the same time. Your needle just accidentally catches it, or you had already added a bead to your thread, you got distracted, you came back, you didn't see the bead on the thread, and so you picked up a bead to make the next stitch. That's what usually happens to me. So when that happens, you've got a couple of options. You can either pull back to frog stitch, rip it back to that spot and remove the second bead. Sometimes you're quite a ways down the road from that though, and it's going to be a lot of work to pull back to that point. So you can sometimes, most of the time, break out that extra bead. So let me show you how you do it. I've already done a video on how to break it out if you have an awl with you. My very handy dandy tulip awl that I like to have with me. This is your number one choice for breaking out a bead, but sometimes you don't have it with you. So what do? Here's how you're going to take care of that. Let's take a look at the beads here. So I've come along here and I've been doing peyote stitch, and I'm ready to peyote stitch into this next sticky uppy bead, but look, there's two of them there, and I only am supposed to have one. So how do I safely break that out? Most people will tell you that the way is you have your flat nose pliers and you squish down on one of those beads and break it out. The answer is yes, but if you just break it that way without anything inside the bead, you run into the risk of actually having the bead, when it breaks apart, cutting the thread. I've had it happen. It's only happened to me once, but I have had it happen. It makes you very, very sad when that happens. So here's a safer way to make that happen. Take your needle, poke it through the bead that you're going to crush. Now that when you smush the flat nose pliers over the bead that you want to break, that flat nose pliers is only going to close down to the diameter of the needle inside, meaning that it's not going to crush your thread because it's never going to completely go flat on you. So here we go. I've got the needle inside, got that bead caught with my flat nose pliers. What I want to do also is make sure that I cover that area, because if you don't cover that area, those bead shards can go flying and you can end up with one in your eye. Or if you're in a class or something where other people are around, somebody else can end up with it. So if you cover it with your finger, pop it, there we go. Now that bead, you can see that it just completely disintegrates because it's just glass. And then I can tighten up. There we go. And now I'm ready to continue beading, and no problem. And then you just have to clean up your little glass shards here. And they're not super sharp shards. I mean, you don't have to worry about it or anything, but you do want to get that cleaned up, and you've managed to protect your thread. So that's what you do if you don't have the awl with you. Always have one or the other, then you can make sure that you can get that naughty bead out of there anytime you need. Happy beading!